There have been several times, right? Wanted to quit.
They doubted.
I am so discouraged. Whoa!
Questioned.
Where do we go from here?
And wanted to give up.
Let's throw in the towel.
But the Laginas don't give up.
It just can't hide forever. We're gonna get it.
And this season, they're closer.
I've never seen anything like it.
Than ever.
Something is leaching metals into that water. It's gold.
The Curse of Oak Island. New season. Tuesday, November 2nd at 9 on the History Channel.
Oh, we're live, babe. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You gotta mute your screen, boo.
The Curse of Oak Island is a multi-season.
Can you hear me?
We're live, babe. How are you?
Good. How are you? Now it's my other screen.
You gotta turn your YouTube off,
Sorry,
babe.
it's so
The Curse of
terrible.
Oak Island is a multi-season.
Oh, there's another one. Okay, I'm closing all of
Okay, I'm just gonna mute you. That's fine. No, you're still muted. I'm just gonna wait. Let's see. Okay, I don't hear any echo.
them. Sorry.
You're fine, boo. This is a trial run. This is why we're doing this.
Yeah, I know. Different. I'm like in a different place, hoping everyone stays quiet. So, welcome to our Oak Island after show. Woo!
So it was one of these recap, pump you up, highlight hype videos, right?
But really good to go over everything. You know, I'm new to this, so I haven't been watching since the very beginning.
Right. Like this started with when we dated, it was just a show I watched and I just turned it on and made you watch it. So getting you caught up to Oak Island is, I think there's a lot of people in our chat who would go, yeah, I used to watch it. I don't know anymore. What do I got to do? For us, I think it's a good strategy. We've been catching up on season finales and season premieres of each season. And then we've been doing that for each season. And then I think we're up to what, like 6 or 7 now for you.
Yeah.
And then you watched a little bit of season 8 with me last year. I mean, I watched every episode. Sometimes you were busy with kids or doing other things, making dinner, but like you kept an ear to it at least.
Yeah, for the most part, I watched all of the last season.
So, all right. So in this episode, they did a top 10 reasons why there's buried treasure at Oak Island. So I took notes the whole time. I missed number 7, so we're just going to do the top 9 reasons why there's treasure on Oak Island. I don't know what else to do. I missed it. I didn't want to rewind it. I was like I got to say, History Channel, you got to make this thing easier to watch online. It was ridiculous. So I was like screen mirroring from my phone, from the History app. It was annoying. Oh, who's that? Oh, is that Turbo? Hi, Turbo.
We have a cat here. Oh. Go. You got it. Okay, stay.
But would you say, okay, so the Curse of Oak Island it's different than the Fen Chase that we're all used to. For those who I guess just don't know, it's a treasure that was found off an island off the coast of Nova Scotia back in 1795 by a few kids. Kids was a relative term back then.
Were they teenagers?
Yeah, teenagers. I mean, and back then teenagers might as well be adults. Like, so you know, a bunch of 16-year-old boys basically. And they found a depression in the ground. They found evidence of a pulley system that had just been used there, you know, at some point recently in the past. And they dug until they found something about 10 feet, which, you know, took a while. And they found they found it right away, actually. Maybe they found it right away. A bunch of wooden planks buried in the ground. And then they dug 10 feet deep, and then they found wooden planks. And so they returned back. One of the men was named McGinnis, Daniel McGinnis. And so, you know, they returned back to it and kept digging 10 feet intervals until about 90 feet deep. They found what was a slab stone with strange engravings in the stone. And they lifted it up and set off a flood tunnel system, a booby trap. So from there, you know, the legend grew, and a bunch of people tried to go to Oak Island to find the treasure that's there. The lore has grown from it could be anywhere the lost Templar treasure, which includes the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail, to the lost manuscripts of Shakespeare. I mean, the list goes on. In Spanish, just pirate gold. It could be anything. So does that about sum it up? So, you know, that's 225 years of mystery and history. And and legend being passed down, and then compared to Fenn's Chase, which was just the last 10 years. So and a poem that was supposed to lead you there. This is just, it's on Oak Island, and we have to judge based on past digs where this treasure was.
I think you're also the curse of it too. How difficult it is to find, all the booby traps, the deaths.
I mean, there's a it's called The Curse of Oak
Lore.
Island, but I find that to be more of a History Channel title than what Rick or Marty probably would call it, although they do go into the curse. The curse says 7 men must die before the treasure can be found. When the show started, I think 5 men had passed and another man had passed away. That we're at 6. It's just like, I don't know, it's weird to make a legend so about death to me. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, I don't really like it either.
Yeah. And again, I think that's what turns off a lot of people to this show sometimes, is what History Channel does to it, which again, I think they're the number 1 rated cable show in the country, like non-scripted. So
Really?
They're doing something right. I mean, I think the legend speaks for itself, but and before we get into it, my theory is the United States government and the U.S. Army found this treasure either during the Revolutionary War or right after, and they got it. And what we're going to find is empty vaults. But that's always been my case. I don't know. But you want to get into their top 9 reasons? That's what they did tonight. So that's what we'll go over, right?
Yes. I want to also start by saying that I'm one of those who says to Ben, and especially when we first started watching it, there's nothing. They never find anything. Every episode, I'm waiting. So I will say, for those of you that say there's no treasure or it's gone, I started out very much on that side. I'm kind of moving my way back over to getting excited about the findings and thinking there is something there. So I don't know. That's my stance. But yes, let's get into this top 9.
I think after this, with understanding all the context, you'd have to at least understand that something was there. It's not just a barren island that had nothing on it. Anyway, right. All right. So their number 10 was something called the Money Pit, which is an area on the island where people believe the main vault is hidden about anywhere from like 150 to 200 feet underground. And that was kind of the whole story I told you about Daniel McGinnis and the 2 other teenagers finding the depression with the pulley system. They just called that story itself number 10, the Money Pit, and the legend surrounding the Money Pit. Would you call that a reason to believe that there's treasure, just that story?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess.
There is something that goes off of this story, and it's later in the number system down here. I think it's at number 3. But there is something else. One of the 2 other people, we find out a little bit more about them. So number 10, I think, speaks for itself.
Yeah. Number
9 was the 90-foot stone, which is also something I covered right away. It's part of the lore. And what they did was they removed it. They triggered the booby trap system, but they did hold on to that stone, Ashley. And there's been a few different translations of it, but the accepted translation says 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. And then now over time, the stone has become lost, of course. So
always.
Do you think that validates the story? Do you think that maybe sensationalizes the story and just makes it more of a treasure lore and it's just all bogus? What do you think?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think some of it is real, and then I think some of it isn't. And I think almost some of it can be made up to try to keep people away from finding it, quite possibly.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people think, with this particular lore, that maybe there might have been a chest right there, and it was to just take this, go, like take the chest and go in peace, but leave the big shit underneath, like the good stuff. Don't know. I would have liked to seen that stone. It sucks to have to just go off lore of, okay, that stone existed, just trust us. But that's what you kind of have to do, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts of this story where things are lost or destroyed that really get to me, because it's like if you had that, you would convince so many more people.
Right, but then again, why do you want to convince anybody over the next 200 years when you're just trying to find the treasure? Why would you want to sensationalize it, show everybody? You'd keep that shit a secret. So True. It kind of makes sense that it was kept quiet and then lost over time.
Yeah.
All right, so then number 8 is a topic they call the stacked chests. So At some point in the 19th century, the 1800s, a new company came in. I think it was called a Trudeau company, to look for the treasure. The lore had grown over the decades, and they were drilling on the island at around a depth of about 100 feet. The crew drilled through oak, and then metal, then dirt, then more oak, then more metal, then more oak, then more metal, and then pulled the drill back out, and revealing all this. And through that, they think they actually drilled into the ground underneath, causing kind of like a collapse, if you will, of the money pit. And so they drilled through what they determined to be 3 treasure chests, and then straight down, and then actually caused a collapse where everything just fell into a cavity underneath. Again, it's a story that at least has corroboration. It was an actual drilling team. They had evidence of it. But again, do people make this crap up just to get more money so we can keep drilling? It's right there. We got it. We had it. Just give us more money to keep going. Who knows? What do you think?
Well, haven't they done more recently some other things to verify those stories? Like all of this, I don't know the science, but the seismic studies and all of that to see where items are.
Yeah, I mean, those kind of things that they've done have at least led them to believe, yes, there is stuff still there, but nothing's been definitive. A lot of corroborating evidence, but if added up or stacked up, it makes a good case. I don't know. We'll see.
I honestly think this might be the type of thing, for the amount of time and money that they've spent, that it would have to be something that you grew up hearing about. It's
Right.
in your blood. It's in your DNA. I think you have to be that into it to want to be able to continue.
And in that day and age, I think that's the only way you're going to find out about treasure. Like, no one's going to be like, here, take this map of buried treasure. Have fun. Spend wisely. Okay, now number 7, I missed again. Sorry, whatever. Number 6, something called the Chapel Vault. So this isn't the same as the Money Pit Vault. There's what those same, magnetometers and all sorts of gadgets that they use above the ground. Even way back then, they found that through drilling there was other vaults in the same area. So there could be 2 or 3 vaults all connected through tunnels, yada yada. So this is named after the person, the group of people led by the person named Chapel who found this vault. They called it the Chapel Vault. It reached a depth of 150 feet, and a drill rod penetrated through a 7-foot tall wooden vault encased in concrete. Now ask yourself, why is anything wood and concrete encasing something at a depth of 150 feet below sea level? Why does that exist unless there's something in there, right?
It's very, very strange.
I'm just asking. It's interesting. So, but causing the collapse of the money pit, causing the collapse of the money pit caused other searchers to search in other areas of the island, and that's where they're finding these vaults. So, when they pulled this drill rod out of this wooden encased in concrete vault, the rod had flakes of gold and a piece of parchment with the letters VI written on it. Now that is okay. Now there's something down there. That's it. If that's not being made up, there's something down there. Lo and behold, they had the proof of the parchment. They took a picture of it. It's real. They took a picture of the flakes on the drill bit. It's real. They didn't make that up. And then in 2017, the Lagina brothers dug what they called a borehole called H8, which is in the same spot where this happened, just to see if there's something there. And they found more parchment paper. They found more paper that was manuscript that, feeds the idea that, those lost manuscripts of Shakespeare were down there.
Okay, that's where that comes from.
So 2017 confirms this whole thing that happened, 150 years prior. That's evidence. That's hard evidence.
Yeah.
Okay,
and what about the gold flakes too? That's additional.
Right. I mean, it goes to say that there's something down there, and it's what we think it is. Treasure. Yeah. Number 5, the flood tunnel system. So we talked about how the booby traps were set off when they picked up that 90-foot stone with the strange engravings on it. So it was thought to be that there were flood tunnel systems. It didn't happen until I think it was 2017, 2018, 2019, when the Lagina brothers decided to build what's called a coffer dam around Smith's Cove which is kind of like a cove area, obviously on the island where this is all going on. And their hypothesis was, if there's a flood tunnel booby trap system, it has to be coming from the ocean, and this is the most likely spot where they would build these flood tunnels to go into the ocean to be used as booby traps. Lo and behold, when they started digging that area, the cofferdam was used to basically drain out the area. It's right on the ocean. It's really hard to get. You can't just pump the water out. They had to literally build a dam to dry that area out so they could actually dig in it. Lo and behold, they found French drainage systems and more flood tunnel booby traps that they actually cut through. So they found the flood tunnel systems, and the idea was they could follow it then to the money pit. They tried to follow it, and they lost it over. I think just because literally the season, they were doing a few things at once, so they weren't able to get all the way through with that. Then they found that roads, and they didn't even mention the road on this top 10. By the way, spoiler alert: the road they found isn't even in this top 10. Just FYI, it's crazy.
Maybe that's the one that you missed.
Maybe it is the one I missed. Shit.
We'll make it the one you missed. See, we really did do the top 10.
Yeah, there's a road system coming from a man-made swamp, which is more thought that it would connect two islands together, and it makes it look like this elephant island. And using a man-made swamp, they could connect this island. The way they created that man-made swamp was sinking a Spanish galleon in this area, in this in between, and they were able to literally create a swamp. And so when they were able to drain the swamp as well, using the same cofferdam system, they were able to unearth a paved road leading from this swamp to the money pit, or at least in the direction of the money pit. Again, they couldn't keep digging because the season ended, but crazy stuff.
And that road really was very convincing.
Oh my God. I mean, what else could it be? You're not going to build a road in the middle of an island on Nova Scotia, and it dates back to right around the 1500s, 1600s. No one's building a road there for just their health. They needed to put valuable goods on wagons and wheel them.
Didn't they find also what were they, kilns or places that showed what kind of work they were doing and how they were building as they were going, and coins along the way? Oh yeah, I mean, they found a plethora of coins along the way, buttons from British, military outfits, all sorts of stuff. But they don't even include that on the list because that's not even good enough for this top 10. Weird. Number 4, Anthony Graves Enigma. Metal detecting in 2017. These guys found a semi-precious hand-cut garnet brooch. This brooch dated back roughly about 500 years. It looked like a ruby. It looked like a ruby that was in a brooch, basically. And it was probably what they would probably call the first piece of real treasure that they found on the island. It could have been dropped by a farmer that they think went by the name Anthony Graves, because he first owned a part of this island away. It was called Lot 8, and it was away from where the money pit would be. Lot 8 is where he's at. Lot 18 is where the money pit is. And you can imagine how much acreage is in between all these lots, as they organize it on the island. What they think is he may have dropped this walking back or bringing treasure back from whatever the money pit is. There's a lot of ideas here that there were smaller treasures around this island, almost as a lure to get away from the big one. The idea being, once you found one of these other treasure chests, okay, well then you're done looking. You're not going to go for the big one because you thought you already found it. You think that's it. You got it. You got it all.
Sounds familiar almost.
Curious.
But the same man, all of a sudden, amasses almost 40% ownership of the entire island. He buys 40% of all the lots on the island, and he uses Spanish, silver, and gold coins to do so. And anytime he's seen going into town, he's only using Spanish, silver, and gold coins. That's treasure. He's using treasure coins all of a sudden. It's very interesting. There's a lot of history behind it, and it's verified, and it gives credence to the story that there is something there.
Yeah.
Number 3, Samuel Ball. Do you know about Samuel Ball from the last season, or watching this, or
yes?
Do you need me to no, okay.
Oh
so
yeah.
Samuel Ball, what do you remember?
Wasn't he? Was he the slave that ended up purchasing land there?
Yeah. So, God, my ear itches. So Samuel Ball, born into slavery, he escapes from South Carolina in 1776, of all years. He escapes the South. He gets to New York. He ends up escaping with the help of the British Army out of New York, and he flees up to Nova Scotia and on Oak Island. This is at a young age. He was 11 when he escaped from South Carolina in 1776. So he's a teenager when he's on Oak Island, probably 16, 17 years old. He becomes wealthy overnight when he's in Oak Island. Almost overnight. He is told to be one of the 3 men who found this depression back when I was talking to you in number 10, when I said it would connect back. Samuel Ball is one of the people who was written to be with Daniel McGinnis the day they found the depression. But Samuel Ball has been taken out of the history books. Most likely because he's a former slave, and we know who writes the history books. It's nonsense. So there's another part to this story. The Daniel McGinnis's family lineage goes on, and there were 3 sisters who were all the great granddaughters of Daniel McGinnis.
5 generations.
5 generations. Wow. Through that family line, a piece of the treasure had been passed on, I guess. And when I say treasure, I mean when they dug to 90 feet, they found 3 chests, and they each gave each other a chest. So each one had a chest, and they took it back with them. Magically, the McGinnis family has treasure that's been handed down with a story. And then we have Samuel Ball becoming rich overnight.
I'm doing the same thing. Yeah, that one is an interesting one.
I love that story. And they say they're not done with it. Like, there's more to it.
Oh, I hope that we hear more.
I hope. But I like the fact that he could have been one of the 3 people who found it. And that's how he got rich overnight. I mean,
well, that makes complete sense, because how else would it be? It's exactly. And then what did he do with the money? He just went and bought lots, right?
That's a good point. So what did he do with the money he amassed? He just bought more land on Oak Island. Why? Maybe
Why would he do that?
More treasure to be found.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't give me that cough medicine before. We should have done that.
Crap.
That's all right. Okay, number 2, borehole C1. So C1 was found probably around 2017. One of the partners was finally able to pick their spot after decades of research. And he was with them for all of this, but they were picking the first spots. He finally got to pick a spot. And in there, about 120 feet deep, they hit a 20-foot void, just air. Huge find, especially when he puts an X on the map and they find a 20-foot void, which you could call a vault. They decide to put cameras down to look inside the voids for objects. What do they find? Embedded into the wall, they find these shiny, what you could call goldish looking items in the wall. They put in more cameras, more investigations. They find 3 more goldish shiny objects. They bring this to experts. The experts all agree. They quote, real man-made gold objects inside void. I mean, I don't know what else you're supposed to say there. And he picks the spot out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but like of all the island, this little microscopic 10-inch spot, drill here, boom, they find something.
Well, but didn't you say he had years and years and years of research?
Right. That's what I mean by not overnight, but wow, he finally got an opportunity and boom, bang, boom. So from this, the 3 gold shiny objects, we still need to learn more about it. But this leads us to number 1, and they call this the silver lining. In the final season that they've done in season 8, they were drilling these boreholes one at a time. C1, right? They would name them. It would cost about $1 million each time they do it. In 2020, they decide they're going to dig 60 new boreholes. Multiple clues are unearthed from this. Pieces of what they call the vault, a never before discovered a wooden tunnel. I think they went from borehole to borehole in about a 50-foot line. So just bam, 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 in like a 50-foot line, starting at like C1 where the Charles Barkhouse vault was. It's like a game of Battleship. You know, you finally hit the battleship. Now you got to pick which direction to go to see if you're still with the battleship, and that's what they decide to do. And they hit. They're still with the battleship.
Right.
So when they then investigate one of where those boreholes are underwater, you know, once you get deep enough, they hit water because there's booby traps. So they test the water in the voids. And lo and behold, the readings that they get say that there's a large amount of silver in this water, trapped water, not rushing water. This water that's sitting in there, it has large amounts of silver. And they go, well, what define large? Like, what are we talking about here? He goes, a dump truck size worth of silver is in that one specific hole that they drilled. That's tested from the water, scientifically tested, dump truck size filled area of straight up silver. And that's showing in the measurements of the water. He said he's done this kind of water sampling all over the coast of Nova Scotia, never had readings like this. That's insanity. There's something down there.
Wasn't this at the end of the last season? Isn't that kind of how it ended? I don't remember where we were.
And they were hampered because of COVID.
Yeah.
They couldn't do much.
Oh gosh, it's so upsetting to me when they get so excited about something and then it turns out to be nothing. And you can just, oh gosh.
That's what bothers everyone. I'm going to smoke one of these fuckers. I found these. Oh, it numbs my throat and I need it right now so I don't cough. I got to say, does Charles Barkhouse irritate y'all? No, because I think he's onto something. I think they actually found something with this. The idea they only are pulling up silver, though, is interesting to me, right? Why aren't they pulling up traces of gold in this area?
Do they think that that's weird? Or does that give some people reason to think that maybe it's not it?
Well, I think maybe they have a gold vault and a silver vault. I think they've hit the silver vault, which would still be, my God, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Why are there two different, why do they think there's a gold vault and a silver vault?
I'm saying there could be a gold vault and a silver vault. We know there's multiple vaults.
Okay.
There's multiple voids.
Now, are those...
Vault, there's the money pit. There's whatever this is.
Let me ask you this. Do you know the flooding booby traps, did those go to different areas or just one area?
See, that's interesting. They haven't been able to trace all of them. They don't know. Multiple spots have been hit by rushing water.
Okay.
The idea would be if you're near a flood tunnel, you got to be near a vault of some kind.
Yeah.
The idea that there was a flood tunnel right at that 90-foot stone set off by picking up the 90-foot stone shows you an intricacy here that's ridiculous. If the story's true, picking up the 90-foot stone somehow setting off the booby trap, this is sophisticated shit. If it's the Knights Templar, it would make sense. These guys were the fucking Masons, basically.
That's incredible. I mean, when they kept just digging and digging and digging and finding more man-made structures further and further below, first of all, I mean, how do you stop? But then to have that whole thing booby trapped and that like that far beneath the ground, holy moly. Right.
It's that far beneath the ground. And again, this show has evolved. The brothers have grown. Rick Lagina, the one with the money, or the one with the dreams, he's at the behest of his brother Marty. Marty has the money. And it seems like Marty is just trying to make sure both their childhood wish comes true, and they just treasure hunt for their later days. Not later, they're not elderly, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And at some points here, it's looked like Marty's wanted to pull the plug. They've cried, they've hugged, they've argued, they've yelled, they've thrown their helmets or their hats down, thinking they're going to find something. I got to say to like everybody at home, if you get frustrated with it, what do you think they feel?
Right.
They're the one. They're not making money off this, guys. Really pay attention and listen before you say comments like that. They spend millions upon millions every year doing this. They're not making that from the show. I hate to break it to you. They're investing their own hard-earned money in this because they believe it's true. And they allowed a documentarian crew, the History Channel, to go along with them for the ride. Did it help Marty cut some budgetary costs? I'm sure. When I hear Irving Quitman Unlimited 1,000 times an episode, I'm positive Irving Quitman is cutting Marty a 25% discount on everything or whatever it is. I'm positive of that, sure, but it's still, he's in the red, folks. He's not in the black.
Yeah.
They're not making History Channel make a bunch of episodes. That's History Channel.
No, they're not. And
I agree that the show is boring. Have you been watching the new ones?
yeah, I was just
the road that they're unearthing is crazy.
yeah, I was like you, all of you that are saying it's boring, I'm not going to watch, nothing happens, they never find anything. I was saying that the beginning when we first started dating over a year ago, this is so boring. I mean, I think I took pictures of you sitting on the couch in between me and all the kids with this like grumpy look on your face, like, and I was like, sent it to your dad and was like, this is Ben, because we were all making fun of his treasure hunting show. Little did I know, here I would be, into not only the Forrest Fenn treasure, but now, yes, watching Oak Island every week and being interested. So it has been more interesting lately. The road, the cross that they found and how that matched up to the
Templar cross.
Yes, the Templar cross, and it matched up to the things that were on the walls, inscripted in the walls. I don't know. Those are finds.
So they find this. Let's see if people can see this image. This is what they find on Oak Island. This is what's inscribed in a French prison by an actual Templar knight. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I bring to you the Templar Connection. There is something going on Oak Island, and it involves the Knights Templar.
And it was so important for that to be carved into that wall that it was done by either teeth or nails.
Yeah, they honestly, the effort it took to doing this, like they removed their own teeth so they could do this.
Yes. Oh gosh. Do you know
that's how much it means to them?
Oh, I was really trying to think of how you could actually like bite the wall like a dog to carve it so perfectly. Duh, Ashley, remove your tooth.
You're thinking like,
I'm not going to survive long in the zombie apocalypse, folks.
Oh man, tooth and nail, baby, tooth and nail. That's right, JK.
Okay, let's go to chat. What is chat saying? That's a good idea.
The booby traps were inspired by the writings of Sir Francis Bacon, so it would have to be during or after his life.
Interesting.
That's interesting. Let's when did he pass?
Yeah, we'll have to look into Sir Francis Bacon.
1561, 1626. Yeah, and most of the
Fines.
The fines and the dating has put this right around 1600 to 1650.
Yeah. So that works with the timeline.
Yeah, no, it definitely does.
Yeah, Carrie says, I remember when Gary found the cross, he was stoked. Oh my gosh,
the cross
was
is
he
amazing.
ever.
The cross could rewrite history alone. The road already rewrites history.
I love when you say that to me when we're watching it. It makes me feel like I'm a part. You're so cute. You're like, you're a part of history. This is history.
It is though. If people don't like care about it, that's fine. But like, trust me, it's history.
I love the elephant shape of the island too.
Right, and again, this is right here. This is the man-made swamp. It's in the shape of a pyramid with an eye of a pyramid at the top. I mean, again, these aren't accidents.
Now, is that where the possible or supposed or rumored ship was sunk?
Yes, this would be where the galleon was purposely sunk. They've found the outline of a Spanish galleon right here. They found proof of a wharf and a dock and the proof of the road that leads out of here. But Veta, how much of a show like this is fake? Maybe the drama or the fighting. The tears would be tough to fake. They'd be Oscar-winning actors that should be given any role in the world.
I think sometimes they do the finds, like they'll reshoot their finds.
Some of the finds you can, especially the metal detecting parts, you can tell Gary Drayton's already digging unearthed dirt. So some of the finds they're kind of reenacting, specifically with the metal detector. But what they're finding is not fake. Where and how they're finding is not fake. Yeah. They have a real archaeologist. Well, now they have like 5 archaeologists on the island working with them as request of the Canadian government, and because archaeologists are taking it seriously now. One archaeologist had started working with them in 2017, 2016. and has become convinced that there is something on the island. More archaeologists have since joined. So no fake finds here. What's scripted? Don't know. But in terms of what they've found, all real. See, my throat's numbed. I'm not coughing.
Okay, fine. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, and what was the recent find with the swamp and the ship that we thought? What was it they just found? Could be from the ship. Was it part of a ship when they drilled?
They found all sorts of part of the ship. They found the big long wooden, I call it a bow almost, like it goes around the whole side of the ship. They found part of like the mast. They found all the specific the spikes that get hammered in specific.
That was it.
Ships. They found those. They found enough to prove that there's a boat in that or a ship in that fake swamp. The theories, Gary Galloway, good point. They do have people who come on the show with theories, and you can tell. Marty Lagina will sit there and fold his arms and just let him talk. You can tell History Channel's just making him sit there and deal with it. Rick sometimes is fascinated, and he'll listen because Rick is the treasure hunter. He's the theorist. He likes hearing these thoughts because he really wants the why. He wants the story. So he I think, and some of those theories have turned out to be interesting. The woman with that French map was ridiculously interesting. I'll be right back, though. I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
The woman with the map. I'm trying to think. We just watched that one. Gary. Gary is great. Oh, yes. The big long plank. They found that. That was what they found. Thank you, Carrie. The Freemason guy on the show creeps me the F out. Which one is that? He's mean with that metal detector. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I guess then you can call him Scary Gary. That's super cute. I love Rick's passion. I love how he gets so excited. He would have been a great Forrest Fenn treasure hunter. Indeed. And you know what I love too about the show is just how Marty will ask him, and then they're just so supportive of each other. So supportive. It's so sweet.
Is Charles Barkhouse a Mason? Is that what they're asking?
Are they saying what? Is he amazing?
Mason.
Oh, is that? Well, someone said the Mason guy. Is that who they're talking about?
I'm wondering if they mean Charles Barkhouse. That's who's the dude who found that borehole C1 where they actually found the gold objects embedded in the wall. She must be talking to kids. There's like images of the discovery here. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I think this John Smith is so in the lore, the new lore, they call it Daniel McGinnis, John Smith, and Anthony Vaughn. Anthony Vaughn and Daniel McGinnis, I think, have been determined to be real. John Smith is a made-up name to take the place of Samuel Ball.
Samuel Ball?
Yeah.
No way.
You could call it a whitewashing of history, if you will.
Wow. That's terrible.
But maybe that's at Samuel Ball's request. Maybe he didn't want to be known. Guys, we have a treasure finder who doesn't want to be known. Why would anybody want to broadcast it, right? So maybe
this is true.
Especially the situation. Oh gosh, he doesn't want people to know that he has money. I think. What is this? eBay advertisement. This is the old foundation, probably built by the McGinnis.
What about? You know what I want to talk about?
This is what they think the stone looked like, by the way, guys.
That was the stone.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about? Sorry, Lou.
The fighting between treasure hunters. This is a really big island, and not one person owns all of it. Don't we have multiple owners and just different generations of families? So does anyone trace back to original family? Like the Laginas have nothing to do with no lineage.
No, I don't believe they do. But well, shit, I don't know. I mean, the treasure hunting rivalry was Fred Nolan, who's like he worked by himself. I think he owned part of most of the lots. basically from the 60s on, there was a rivalry between Fred Nolan and oh God, I'm blanking on his name now. The old man.
Oh gosh.
Why am I blanking on his name? Maybe it's in this article. I was right. The Turu Company. All right, hold on. Oak Island Association, Treasure Company. Hold on. Discovery of flood tunnels.
This is a top pocket find discussion. Nice one.
Restall family tragedy. That's where a few people died. You can see this. All the people who died. Dunfield. This will give us his name. I can't believe I've forgotten his name. What?
Someone asked if there are oaks on Oak Island, and there are. In fact, that depression that those guys found was under an oak tree.
Correct. And it was oak. It was all the platform. Every 10 feet, the platforms were made out of oak, and it was to mimic the Temple of Solomon, which would point it towards Knights Templar.
Yeah, Blankenship. That was his name.
Blankenship. Dan
Thank you, Lucky Digger. Or Beaks. Thank you. Blankenship. That's right.
So Dan Blankenship and Fred Nolan each had a rivalry going. They both owned parts of the island. They never shared information. They hated each other. And honestly, if they had worked together, they might have actually figured something out, because each of them got close in their own right. But they were Mickey Mouse operationing it. You know what I mean? They didn't have millions and millions and millions and millions, but they did have access to stuff to try. It's interesting if they had just teamed up. So at the end, they did kind of at the end here for like a year, before Fred Nolan passed away. He gave all his research materials to the Lagina brothers. But this shows you kind of a little visual of what's going on here. Oak chests or barrels might be where they found their 3 treasure chests before they were so they lift the stone, they set off the flood tunnel. It's going to take a few minutes for the water to work its way up, right? So you actually have like a time limit to go get what's ever down here real quick.
Oh wow.
So the idea would be that they got the 3 chests out, and then I don't know what makes them think there's more, but how does the legend keep growing? That's for me almost a missing piece.
I thought that okay. See, I didn't know that the 3 treasure chests were found immediately when they triggered that flood.
That's a new story that came from the great granddaughters of McGinnis.
I thought that they just said that they found the 3 chests. Do you remember specifically them saying that that's what triggered the booby trap? I mean, I guess it makes sense.
What triggered the booby trap was lifting the stone.
Okay.
But I'm guessing underneath the stone was another area where they could get into quickly, but they saw water rushing up. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, why wouldn't we know? Maybe we should research this a little bit.
It's been researched to death, trust me. By the Lagina brothers. Like, honestly, this is where you can just go.
I just meant if we don't know the answer to the question, like maybe it's out there, we just don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. There's so many memes on this. There's that brooch we were talking about.
How are you pronouncing this word?
A brooch? It's a brooch? I thought it was a brooch because it has an E on the end.
No, it's a brooch.
Oh, whatever. Nothing else on this page. So anyway, that was the top 10 shit they did today. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited for the new season. I think they're going to go balls to the wall. They don't have COVID getting in the way. And that was kind of like the big issue last season was COVID stopped all their, massive equipment from being able to cross the border into the Canadian, area of Nova Scotia.
I got to check on something really quick.
All right. That's a cool picture. And then sometimes it just feels like a tourist trap. So who the fuck knows? It certainly does look like an elephant to me. always kind of wondered about that. Let's get that road that they excavated. Yeah, they do have a tourist center. Like to the lay person, I guess this doesn't look like much, but that's an old paved road that they had to dig out from. It's pretty cool. There's a better overview of it. Like to say there's nothing. This is all they've found a bunch of tools, all dating to the same 1600s. See this road that they're uncovering? It goes in the direction of the money pit that way. I'm excited for the new season. I truly am. So this is where they found a paved wharf. Like, oh, come on, give me a bigger picture than that. Oh, boo. Fenn's treasure buried on Oak Island. No, I don't believe so. But yeah, we're gonna do this every Tuesday. It's nice to talk about something a little different than Fenn or current treasure hunts out there with other folks' hunts. It's nice to just sit back and look at a treasure hunt that we have no chance of joining, but can root them on from the sideline.
I am so sorry.
No, you're fine, boo. What's up?
We had our child who got a huge road rash today on his shoulder, then tried to shower and realized he got into the shower and the water was hitting it and it was hurting like bloody murder. He was like,
ouch.
He was like white with pain. So
I can understand that. Here's the image of the ship that they're finding in that same swamp.
Okay, so did I miss anything? Anything from chat?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's just kind of like taking the information. I think we're all quasi-quiet fans of the show. We want these guys to find something, I think. I can't imagine not wanting something to find or not wanting them to find something.
No, definitely not. I'm totally rooting for them. I mean, especially the time, the effort, geez, the amount of money, holy moly. I want them to find something big.
I like archaeologists. In the end, it wouldn't be surprising if there was a road. You say that now. All you archaeologists are saying there's nothing here.
So what does it take for an archaeologist just to believe that it's something? Have you noticed?
They have to be the one to discover it. They're just like a treasure hunter. Swear to God. If you have an outlandish find and another archaeologist wasn't with you, they won't fucking believe you.
Wow.
So it's all sorts of convolution, if that's a word.
Interesting. Yeah, all sorts of levels of power and hierarchy, I think, and with those archaeologists.
So we'll do this every Tuesday, like I was telling everybody. On this particular episode, there wasn't much to discuss. It was just their little top 10s for, and I don't even know if I agreed with their top 10, but whatever. I missed one, so who knows? It's either the road or the Templar cross. So I don't know which.
The cross. The cross is pretty.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's
whatever.
pretty.
Anyway, you want to talk about Fenn for a little bit after this?
What?
For a minute? Maybe we talk a little Fenn after this for a minute because weird things are happening.
I think that we could definitely spend the last few minutes talking Fenn. Absolutely, go for it.
I'm just wondering what the fuck's going on.
Okay, so what was the last update? Where are we at? Give us a recap.
Our last recap is that there's multiple offers for this chest now privately. which means if Jack sells this thing, our chances of a rehiding of the chest have gone down by at the very least 50%. If there's one other person, if there's two people, maybe it's gone down 66%. If there's three people, it's gone down 75%. I wonder what's taking Jack so long, and I'm wondering if Jack is having a debate in his head right now. Do I sell to somebody who's offering me, I don't know, I'm making up the number, but double? Or do I take the money the way it is and just go and give these people something to smile about and move on with my life?
It just does it come down to whether or not Jack really cares? I mean, does Jack care about the chase, about the community, or not? Or does he, or maybe does he just need the money?
Does he have to care about the community?
He doesn't have to do anything, honestly. He can do whatever he wants.
Would you really want to be the supreme bad guy of the chase?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I mean,
it would also, there's a question of like what the other people want to do with this. Maybe they're going to rehide it. I don't know, but we only know of one that wants to, and that's the one I'm going to support because I want a rehiding of the chest.
Well, yeah, I do too. And yes, anyone could do it, but I feel like the person that we think it is would be a really great person to do it.
Yeah, but they made a boo-boo.
Well,
which I still don't understand. And weren't we shouting from the rooftops, don't do it this way? Like, why you do it? Like, we appreciate the info. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I think that's why we assumed, Ben, that we would get a word on or a release of some kind earlier because we assumed it was a done deal. That was the only reason why you would leak it or bring it up or say anything if it was a done deal. It reminds me
of a business tactic of some kind and it failed.
Again, it reminds me like before you buy a house, before your loan fully closes, you've already got everything, everything's set, but there's like a 2-week window. And that's usually when people go out and they want to buy new furniture, they want to buy paint for the house, they want to do all of these things. And that'll take a hit on your credit at the last second because they run your credit one more time right before the loan closes. So that can affect the interest rate that you get. And they were always like, don't do that. Just please wait till you get in the house to buy everything. I felt like I just kept saying this is kind of the same thing. Wait until you for sure have everything before you go out and say, I got it. I don't know.
When do you think we get a final answer on this? This week?
A final answer? I mean, I was thinking that it was coming. I think at this point, it could be another, dare I say it, a week. Hold on.
I think it was a play that backfired too. Who cares?
You think it was a what?
I agree with who cares. It was a play that backfired.
I kind of leaning that way too. What I really liked about, I kind of thought that it was being somewhat leaked to us so that we could kind of have this exclusive information, which I thought was a really cool idea. But again, I think that's only smart, or you can only do that safely when it's for sure.
I'd be really interested to know if Entity doesn't get it, who does? Oh boy. Oh boy.
This is like a whole new kind of anxiety. We've really gone through everything this last week and a half.
I just want to know if I'm going to look for buried treasure in the next summer. That's all. That's all I want. I just want to be able to tell the kids we're going to have a buried treasure to look for it. And I don't mean like one of these smaller hunts. I mean like a big mega hunt. I want one now.
Yeah.
Give it.
Well, especially this specific treasure. I mean, would you be as excited if it was a random treasure chest full of comparable things as you would be to find this chest that would be rehidden that is Fenn's chest and Fenn's treasure? That's a great question.
I would need a good story behind it, not just. I mean, the value alone is worth looking for, but is it just going to be some cipher thing? I'm not into it. If it's a puzzle to unravel, that doesn't involve ciphers, and it's it's a story that you're unraveling, just like it felt like with Fen, then yes, I'm in. I'd need to be sold on the story too, but if it's in that same regard, yeah, sure. And especially it helps if it's Fen cash, even if this whole thing is a new chest or a new hunt. But I don't know, a new hunt and a new treasure chest. It's got to be enough to get me out of the chair, and I don't know what that is.
See, that's what I'm saying. So even if it was, your heart is kind of set on this chest, this hunt.
What I don't think Packer Jack has ever alluded to this, but what if Packer Jack's entity is just Jack? And this is all employed by Jack.
I think that listening to you earlier, I believe that could very well be it. I don't even want to think that, but it could be. We did feel funny about why the information was released and how it was released. Maybe there's something there. You're still questioning why it was done this way.
Yes.
Maybe it's something like that. And I was thinking that too. When I said earlier, when you were live earlier today, I said, do you think like this was to get interest from other buyers specifically done for this reason? Maybe there was no entity, there were no buyers.
It's either Jack wanting to drum up business for himself, very clever, or entity does not possess the business skills that are required to negotiate this chest. I'm going to say it. And I'd like to help, but no one's asked for mine, and that's fine. But I hope you elicit some help to negotiate in these final hours, because you're screwing it up.
There has to be a way. In negotiations, in contracts, and stuff, like there has to be a way that they can overcome this.
I have salvaged multi-million-dollar deals that look like they were on the brink of destruction. Everything is savable. It's not over yet. But, oh boy, we have not been making good decisions thus far. But the key behind all that is what you did find out was, I don't know if I meant solicit or illicit. That's a good question, Dark. I thought there was an ulterior definition to illicit that you can. I might be wrong. Shit. Now I lost my point. The entire community is or has rallied behind this concept. I honestly, either you didn't believe it, you don't believe it, fine. I just don't count you in that survey. Of the people who buy the concept that Jack owns the chest and Jack is selling the chest and hopefully selling the chest to this entity, of the people who believe that story, a resounding number of folks have said, yes, please, this is the only way this thing can get saved to be fun again.
Yeah.
So at least you found that out. Let's use that. Let's exploit that. Let's try to make Jack come to a decision that he normally wouldn't feel comfortable making.
I mean, people are already pretty frustrated. This is just going to put everyone over the edge. But Jack can help all of us by giving us something to look forward to. And that means a lot. Might not make up for everything, but it really means a lot.
Ulterior motive. No, I used that correctly. Fuck off, Dark. Ulterior motive, it works. Don't say alternative. I'm right. Dark is just fucking with me now. Maybe you heard the context of the sentence wrong. Dark, maybe you're just worried about making me do laundry to make Ashley laugh at me. Bitch.
It's funny. It's like you change when you're talking Fen.
Am I more angry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the situation that we're in, though.
I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. I'm going to keep going live every day till we get an answer, but I am sick of it. I'm sure everybody else is sick of it. I agree, Aluminum Andy. Dark wants Ashley to know he does laundry. No, I'm worried about you not proposing. Fucker. The Fen is a cipher. The Fen poem is a cipher and not a story solved, Ben, but thanks for the paid statements. Okay, man, whatever you say. Where's your treasure chest? 5, leave. I've been typing this to you since day one. Where's your treasure chest? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you're not 100% right. You're not confirmed to be right. You don't have proof you're right.
Dare I say there's more proof that you're not right?
If you don't have a treasure chest, if you don't have a confirmation from Forrest Fenn, you have nothing in this chase.
I agree, Nomadic Madman. That is a real possibility if this isn't salvaged.
And Jack, if you do that, man, like you're gonna take the solve with you, and you're gonna sell the chest that you know is gonna make it disappear forever. Like that's fucked. That's fucked. No one's buying you a beer after that, dude.
Yeah.
I rescind my offer that you were never gonna take to buy you a beer if you sell the chest and hold the solve. You should move on, dude. You should move on. It's a douche move.
That's why I'm saying everyone's already really upset. We want the solve. I'm starting to kind of accept we may never get it, but to do this on top of that, that really sucks.
There has to be someone out there who would want to rehide the chest and pay you whatever dollar you're asking for.
Yeah.
Why so sudden is this happening too?
Interesting. Wonder if this being drug out as a tactic as well.
So Packer Jack just reached out to me. We should know. The quote is, "We should know in the next 48 hours."
Wow.
So that's straight from the entity. We should know in 48 hours.
Okay, we're at that time. So both sides are saying, okay, that's it. Final offers in. 48 hours.
48 hours. Oh, I only got to do 2 more days of this everyday shit, babe. That's it. Yay!
Okay, now, but here's the question, and maybe this is silly. Is the 48 hours for all private sales or just this negotiation with the entity?
God, like a Lost episode, there's just always more questions, isn't there? I would assume we'll know where this chest is going within 48 hours. This is like what I was saying earlier. Once extra private bids hit this, that's it. It's game on. It's a foot race. There's only so many hours left in the negotiation window. This is exactly what I fucking said like 5 hours ago. And this is exactly what's happening now. 48 hours. And we'll find out if this is bullshit. We'll find out if this is real. We'll find out what's happening to the chest, maybe if it's all real. But we don't have time, Justin. Do something good. Pull a rabbit out of your hat.
Wait some more. That's right, Davio.
You want A-Pro getting the chest? Because that's basically what he's alluding to. I'll just say it. That's what he's been saying in the chat for the last 2 days. I don't know who A-Pro is, but A-Pro, you going to rehide the chest? Because you're making it very obvious.
Yeah.
Dude or dudette. Fen pulled the chest, dumbass. He called me a dumbass. That's cute. Ben, don't be stupid. I don't think I'm being stupid. There's also no one can prove a solve, and here you are solver shaming again. I'm not solver shaming. I'm saying without the chest, no one knows what solve is correct. It's what I've always said every time, including my own fucking solves. I don't know what you don't get about that.
He's really talking about himself when he's talking about all of you as well. Like when he says, do you have a chest? He's including himself in that group.
Yes, myself included. I don't have a chest. I don't have a correct solve. At least not that I know of. I'm not saying ew ciphers. Did you hear me say ew ciphers? I didn't say ew ciphers. I said you have your solve. You think it's correct. Without a chest, you don't know. I don't care what cipher you have. That's not saying you cipher.
I think that you might have mentioned if someone else were to hide it and use a cipher, you wouldn't be into that because you don't really.
That's different. I'm just not good at solving cipher
He's
poems.
not into ciphers.
Right. If this was a cipher poem at the end of the day, I just wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have had a good shot at doing it.
Yeah.
I have experience with cipher solves, but I'm just not good at it. I don't like it just as an exercise. I like story solves better as an exercise. I'm not, but that's not talking shit about cipher solves.
Yeah, you're just saying that you don't. It's not your favorite. It's not your preference. That's all.
Five Leaf, I've had you on to talk about your solve. It's not like I offered tonight as a come on and talk about your solve night. I respect your solve, Five Leaf. I believe in the data that you've pulled from it. I just don't know if it's a red herring. I don't know if it's an incomplete solve and Jack did the exact same thing, but he completed it. I don't know, man. But I'm not talking shit about it. Jack Stoof is the only writer on the planet who wouldn't see being Forest Fen Finder as a once-in-a-lifetime writing opportunity. That's quite astute, Pilgrim Creek. Quite astute. Davio with his data 42. Davio, I swear to God, man. I'm kidding. It is fun. Look, and again, I hope Five Leaf understands where I'm coming from. I'm consistent. If all I ask any of my haters or people who agree with me, all I ask you to do is look at my consistency or inconsistencies and judge me off that.
No, here we go. We're good.
We're good, dude. It's fine. I mean, I'll argue all day. You don't have a chest, you don't have a solve. End of story. I'll argue that all day. How well do they narrow down the Fen cache location in the Ice Age Americans book? I haven't looked into it yet. I only looked at that Tankersley Preston connection. That's it. I actually haven't opened it. I probably should have. I should probably order it.
This is a great question, Gallatin Ghost. Wonder who else has interest in funds to buy the chest. Maybe we need to start thinking about that. I hope we don't.
Ashton Kutcher.
That'll be fun.
Nicolas Cage. See, like if a celebrity bought it, I would hope to God they would rehide it, but maybe not.
What do you think, Turbo? Tell the people what you think.
If Ashton Kutcher bought the chest and didn't rehide it, I would hate. I would verbally hate on Ashton Kutcher every day on Twitter. I would troll the shit out of his account until he blocked me.
But then would you make burner accounts and continue doing it, or would you just stop?
No, I would stop then.
You would just stop. That's a good man right. That's a good man right there.
Once it gets to burner accounts, I'm done. That's too much work.
That's a good man.
If Kenneth Tankersley said he knew about the location, it would probably be where the Fen cache was. It has mysterious origins. I can't disagree with that at all. Tankersley has described the location as having a waterfall. I think he has alluded to the fact that it's near the East Gate, so I would hope it matches the Fen cache location then, if that's the case. It would be interesting if the Fen cache location is undisclosed and that is the actual Fen treasure location. Is it that simple? If it's that fucking simple, Jesus. Where are the hints of the Fen cache location, Bavetta? Somewhere in the border area of Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming, I think is as exact as anyone has been about the Fen Clovis cache. Utah, Idaho, Wyoming. So we'd have to go to Wyoming. Hold on, let me pull up maps for a second. Let me do this. So Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming. Yeah, I've looked here. Cokeville. All the soda.
I was going to say,
Coke.
something to do with the soda solves.
Yeah, this is Cokeville. You probably can't see it on the screen, but this is called Cokeville. Next, there's the Gold Buckle Grill, Flying J Travel Center, Cokeville Municipal Airport. There's an airport in Cokeville.
Huh.
Tri-State Marker, Red Mountain. So hypothetically, I'm guessing your Clovis cache would be somewhere near the Red Mountain. It's rather barren.
Oh, Ben, Packer Jack is in the house. He says, "What's up, Bobby Dazzlers? I'm an Oak Island junkie."
It's another Bobby Dazzler.
That's a top pocket find.
Holy shamoly. If you're brave and in the woods, this is Wood Hollow. Look at this little section of forest right here.
Looks like a little porcupine.
In the middle of nowhere.
Or an ant.
This looks like a site that might have been excavating.
Interesting. Very interesting in the middle of that.
They said somewhere around the border, Wyoming, Idaho, and Utah. I mean, this is about as good as you're going to get. Maybe over here. I mean.
No trees there, Bavetta.
Yeah, it's just, I just don't see anything that looks like a treasure location here.
Hey, Pro, stop making eyes at Ben.
A-Pro's making eyes at me? Why?
Just teasing. I was just joshing.
You're joshing me?
Yeah.
You got forest here, but like, again, it's just barren. Stirrup Spring. I guarantee fucking you there's no spring there anymore.
Well, unfortunately. Oh, interesting. I don't know if that's true about Cokeville.
What about Cokeville? Cokeville's a town where the mountain man and his wife took over the grade school with guns and explosives. Holy shnikes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Never heard that.
Cokeville's right here. Coke Mountain. Now we're talking about a kind of area that's a little bit better. Coke Mountain. What does it say about Coke? Sometimes the reviews are interesting. Sometimes you'll see reviews that are Fen related.
Packer Jack, sorry. We did our 1 hour of Oak Island, about 1 hour, like 50 minutes. And then we dedicated the last of the show to just catch up on some Fen topics. So that's what we've been doing. So the beginning was Oak Island, and then we started talking Fen. So you came in at this juncture. And yes, I forgot to give Ben cough syrup before the live stream, and that's why he's coughing. So I'm going to have to give that to him. And I am about to fall asleep, Ben. So we have to wrap it up, or I have to get off.
All right, we'll wrap it up here. I'll look at the map for another 15 minutes, Boo. You can head up here if you want.
Okay.
This is what I would just do, like, when I was just searching. Go to my solve areas, look around. What am I missing?
No, I know. I watched you do this for hours and hours.
I would love to look at the Ashley National Forest right here.
Is it spelled like the way I spell my name?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Take me there.
I'm going to.
But
when
like,
we go, the next time we're going to Yellowstone, we're going to go, instead of going north from Salt Lake, we're going to head east and go probably through the Ouray Reservation. We'll go through Flaming Gorge. So we'll go through the Ashley National Forest. And then we'll either go into Dinosaur National Monument because I have something I want to look at there. But then I would take us down into the Uncompahgre. Oh. God, I love the Uncompahgre. Let's see if there's a Forrest Fenn quote there. Oh God, look at
It's
that.
very far from the road, and it looks like a lot of walking.
It's not that far from the road. Jeepers creepers. What you need to be is on Dave Wood Road, Brave in the Wood.
Ah.
But as we were told, he went off highway about 20 miles. So this would be the $1 Million Highway right here. If he goes into Uncompahgre, let's measure distance. Oh, look, 20 miles exactly to where the name is on Uncompahgre. That's 20 miles.
That's crazy.
So they say he went off freeway, off highway into the Uncompahgre. Well, he could have gone to Telluride, I guess. I don't think he went to Telluride. The last ping was in Uncompahgre. So my guess is the dude goes off freeway in Montrose, actually, and uses this road. So we'll take it from the freeway here to here, measure distance. Oh, I got to measure distance to here. Oh, look, what do you know? 20 miles. 20 miles right into the Uncompahgre, and took one road to get there. I would call it the Dave Wood Road. Braving in the wood. Strange. Or he went to the Uncompahgre Peak near Silver Mountain, Sunshine Mountain, Crystal Peak. Yeah, it's just all sorts of stupid shit. Well, we now know it's going to be 48 hours. So at least we know that. 48 hours, we should know something.
Okay, good.
At least there's that.
Yes, we don't have to think this is going to be another week of this. That's good.
Like I said, I'd kill myself. So we'll go live tomorrow. Hopefully you know something tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat place, probably noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And we'll go live for a few hours, see if we learn anything. You got anything else you want to add, babe?
No, I think that's it. We'll talk Fenn tomorrow. And hey, you guys, thanks for hanging out and talking Oak Island with us. That was fun.
No, it was very fun. Hopefully we have more stuff to talk about. Next week will be another hype show.
Yeah.
And then we'll just talk about what they covered. And then November 2nd, Tuesday, will be the season premiere. And hopefully we'll go over some new finds, new information. What the brothers are going to be doing for this season. Hopefully they're going to do the honeycomb all-in method, and which is, I mean, basically just let's go down and just go there now. They were going to do that last season, but COVID stopped it. So hopefully this season is one where big finds happen. I've heard rumors from the island that big things have been found, and it's just a matter of keeping it secret until the show airs.
Yeah.
The History Channel has had the most extreme NDAs you could find with everybody involved in the show. In the event that they do find something, History Channel wants it saved for their heirs. So
let's be honest, because it's so rare that they find something incredible. No offense.
No, what I'm talking about is the actual vault. If they find the vault, History gets to air that first. So that's what's going on. Carrie Galloway says they'll be digging in the mud. I get it, but I think we're going to find some interesting stuff this year if the rumors are true. So I'm excited. Either way, we're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to hope to have some more news updates from Packer Jack. Thank you again tonight. Cheers to that 48-hour window. And I think that's it, Boo.
Here we go. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.